Hello, happy Monday. I was going to be describing to you what your social studies part of the class time is going to look like for you today. So if you take a look here, I have got my looking on our calendar for today. Once you click, you've got this part down here and you have to scroll. I clicked on the wrong class. There we go. And you have to scroll down here where it says social studies. Today, you're going to be learning about the other three regions around the United States. You're going to watch at least 3 other Flipgrid presentations by your peers and fill out the graphic organizer on OneNote titled Regions Notes for Presentations. Okay, so I'm going to show you here what that looks like. So once you click on our Flipgrid code, it's going to give you all these presentations. So when you remember that you recorded yours before break, this is where they're at, right? So a couple things that I want to highlight for you. So first of all, where you're going to head to is you're going to be filling out this graphic organizer, and this is called Regions Notes for Presentations. So where did I get this? It's already in your book. So I happen to just be looking in Carson's book. Click on your social studies folder, then click in Regions Notes for Presentations. Here is where I've given you all of the different regions, and you've got this graphic organizer that you're going to be filling out. So for example, here it says Northeast presentation, and then it gives you all of those different blanks that you have to be filling out for. So it gives you climate, it gives you landforms, water, landmarks, additional interesting facts as well. So these are all different parts that you should be filling out. It's up to you on which one you want to fill out for today. All you have to do for each day this week for social studies is just worry about one, okay? So let's say that I'm going to go look in Northeast presentation. So back to my Flipgrid here, I'm going to click where it says view 5 topics. This is probably where you're going to be most confused, where you're like, well, once I click the link, it only shows me West, right? You've got to click this part here, and I'm going to click on Northeast region. So once I click there, I have all of these amazing presentations, right, for the Northeast presentation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on, let's say I'm going to look at Amira's, and then...
Hi, my name is Amira, and I'll be teaching you about the Northeast region.
So as Amira is going to be describing to us what the Northeast region looks like, then I'm going to be like listening to it, looking at her visual here, and the infographic is just amazing, by the way. Love this one. What you're going to do is you're going to be listening to her, and then you're also going to be kind of going back and forth to your OneNote to fill it out, right? So if I were you, I would click this little guy up here, have that be kind of, off to the side here so that you can have this on this side and then have the notes over here. So once I click play.
Highlighted in red is the Northeast region. States in the Northeast region are Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island.
So she's given me a list of all of those different states, right? So on here, whenever I'm looking, do I have to put that down? I don't. It also just tells me I need to be reading for climate, for landforms, for water, for landmarks, and other additional facts. So if you realize you're like, I like to know the states on there, you can type them in. That can be your additional facts, but that's not something you need to be listening to, right? So this is where you're going to be including notes down. Now, as for how many notes that you need to include for each place, I need to be proven that you understand the region that you did not study. Okay, so if that looks like one sentence or if that looks like several sentences, for some of these, it really just depends. Like, for example, climate, you're not going to have that much information, right? It really just depends on what region that you had, because some of you have very varying climates. So for example, like Indiana for Midwest, we go from really, really hot to really, really cold. So I'm probably going to have a little bit more information there than per se the Southeast, where the Southeast is just dry and hot, depending on where you're at. Right? So there's really no okay, you have to have exactly 3 sentences. You just have to give me enough information for me to know, okay, you learned about this region, right? Because you only were an expert on your specific region, not on every single region. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does, right? So I wanted to just kind of highlight those for you. Now, if you look back at the calendar, it does tell you this for today. where it says you need to listen to at least 3 different Flipgrid presentations, right? So I don't want you just to listen to one, even though Amira, yours is wonderful and it's fantastic. I want you to kind of preview some other ones as well, right? So again, remember, I'm not just hitting up the West. I have to come here to Northeast. And then you're going to listen to 3 different videos. And then from those videos, you're going to be filling out your OneNote. Okay, so that is the description on what you're going to be working for social studies. Now, let's say that I'm Amira and I'm sitting here and I'm like, I studied the Northeast region. So what you're going to do on here on your graphic organizers, you're just going to simply put on here and say, this was my region, and that's it. Okay. Now, does that mean that you can't do anything for that first day? No. That means that you've got to move on to the Southeast presentation. Okay. What I would like for you to do is let's say that you did look at the Northeast region and that was the one that you studied. I would like you to go through and look at the videos too to see if there was something that you missed that somebody else maybe picked up on, which I always love to do. So that is what your assignment is going to look like for today for social studies. Again, the only real thing that I could see becoming a problem on this is just making sure that A, you use the code, and then B, that you make sure that you use this little guy here to click on your region that you did. So that's what I've got for you today for social studies. Email me with any questions that you have.